Culminating the Ring 4 event from Saturday, November 22nd, was David Benavidez, the headlining main event, where he had a destruction performance over challenger Anthony Yarde. Upon watching how David Benavidez went about his work against Anthony Yarde, this 7th round bloody destruction of Yarde really cemented exactly what Benavidez means in the boxing world at the light heavyweight division. And though this performance may be a short-lived visit at the division, Benavidez has shown his class ever since he first became a world champion at a younger age at 168, the super middleweight division. He took apart Anthony Yarde meticulously. Yarde was made to feel comfortable, like he might be able to last. But as soon as the hand speed of Benavidez, along with the applied pressure that he brings with every fight, began to take its toll, you can see a fading Yarde actually come to the realization of what he was in the ring with. And this is something that he stated in the aftermath. He says that Benavidez hits harder, but hurt him when he fought him. He said that Benavidez didn't hurt him, but it was the pressure and the swarming and the hand speed. But I disagree the fact that Yarde says he wasn't hurt, because in one of those rounds early, when Benavidez hit him smack in the nose and broke his nose, there was blood splattering everywhere to the degree that the ref called time to have the ringside doctor look at Anthony Yarde's nose. And usually it's a cut on the face, around the eyes, the forehead, under the eyes, the mouth, that will make a ref stop a fight to have the doctor look. But if your nose is bleeding like Yarde's was in this instance, that's pretty smashed by the champion in David Benavidez. This fight took place with Benavidez's WBC light heavyweight title on the line. Now, what I also noticed about this fight was Benavidez in the second round, I believe, began to beckon Yarde as if to say, hey, come on, you said you wanted to go to war, let's do this. And he took that disposition. Yarde did not answer that. He did not step to the plate of that. Yarde was seriously underprepared for what Benavidez brought to the ring. And it's unfortunate because he does have talent. But he was down in the 7th round and the fight was over in the 7th round, even though Benavidez was deducted 2 points for hitting him while he was on the canvas. It wasn't Benavidez being a dirty fighter. It's just that he was going after him with such intensity and fervor that he didn't even realize and recognize that Yarde was literally on the canvas. He thought he might have been leaning on the ropes, but he was actually sitting on the floor. But what was on display was Benavidez's hand speed, the fact that he still continues to apply the pressure. And what we also saw was that he maintains the hand speed at this weight class. And at the age of 28, he is approaching a prime as a light heavyweight. 6'2" with a 74.5-inch reach. The monster is looking for greater challenges. And so this fight against Yarde, like I said, may be short-lived because Benavidez is now talking about moving on up to Cruiserweight, seeing that Dimitri Bivol and Benavidez are not showing any excitement as far as getting in the ring with him. So he said he will move up to Cruiserweight and face Zurdo Ramirez. Now, if that happens and he goes up to face Zurdo Ramirez for the WBO and WBA Cruiserweight titles, May 2nd may be a date for them. And he says that he's here to prove himself and he just wants to fight the best fights in the sport, the best fighters in his weight class. He, a lot like Crawford, Devin Haney, Jai Opetaia, fighters like this, their contemporaries are not excited about sharing the ring with them. Oh, they'll talk about these guys. They'll talk and give all kinds of explanations of what they think and how someone hasn't proven this or whatever. But that's just a detour, a roadblock, a stoppage of acknowledging the challenge that facing someone of the ilk of Benavidez or Crawford or Haney or Opetaia brings to the ring. It's time for these young fighters that don't want to test themselves to move by the wayside and allow the real champions, the real warriors of the sport to step to the forefront, because they will crush the opposition that doesn't look to compete. Now, after this particular fight, the 28-year-old Benavidez, now his record is being acknowledged as 31 wins, 25 KOs. He happens to be the ring's number 2 contender in the light heavyweight division, rated right behind Dimitri Bivol, who owns all of the other titles in his possession at the moment. Bivol, who's 24-1 with 12 KOs, and that one defeat came to his first fight against Benavidez, which he avenged in a rematch. He wants to fight Bivol or Benavidez, but they're not looking to get in the ring with him. So Benavidez is looking to do other things. He says, when I signed to fight Anthony Yarde, I thought, oh man, this is going to be a war. And this is what I dreamed about. You know, both of us going to war. He says, I think he cut me in round 6 and says, you want a shootout? Let's go for it then. And you see what I did? He stepped into Monstrual's world and got KO'd. The thing about David Benavidez is this. He's highly competitive. He grew up in the gym with his older brother and dad in the sport of boxing and was always chided as being an overweight kid. But he began to spar professionals, guys that were contending and competing in the sport. And he wasn't even initially thought to be someone of that ilk, but he began to be able to hold his own. See, that's character that's buried deep inside that you can't teach and coach that. You can only develop the skill set. And that's what happened with Benavidez. His skill set has been developed and he has maintained fast hands. He's not the most athletic guy, but he has a lot under the hood when it comes to his fortitude. So in order for someone to be able to defeat him, they're going to have to outsmart him because they're probably not going to out-physical him. And That's what it comes down to in the sweet science of boxing. And that's what he's going to have to face in order to reach that level of greatness. But will he? It remains to be seen. But for now, we have to salute the monster. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about David Benavidez and what do you think should be next for him as he tries to move up to another division of Cruiserweight to take on a unified champion there. Will he be successful or not? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.